Good morning, traders. Welcome to this video update on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris Forsick from Elite Currency, and we'll take a look at the second half of this week. First of all, with the euro dollar, a little bit slow as expected. If I remember correctly, I mentioned on Monday that there will be the ECB event on Thursday, and this week, therefore, could be slower. I don't have any particular view on the ECB event. I am not a fundamental trader. I rather stick to technicals. So personally, I think it's waiting till the event is over and then seeing what the reaction is and then take it from there. So I'll have a new update, of course, on Monday. I mean, if I had to choose, I have a slight preference for upside at this moment. Overall, I think the structure is a little bit more bullish, but not much, just a little bit, I think, to retest the resistance. And then there could be a bearish bounce, I expect, in this zone. Because ultimately, I think that, or even up to here actually, this bearish zone basically in its entirety, right? I've talked about this bearish zone, resistance zone already for a long time. We already had one bounce here, actually around 122.60, I think. And it could happen again after a higher high or just below that level. At this moment though, price is still stuck in the 21 EMA zone. Price has not closed below or above it on this daily chart. If we get a close on the 4, I would say at this moment on the 4-hour chart, above the 20 EMA, which we already have actually, or above these fractals. That's why I have a bullish preference, as I mentioned at the beginning. Because of that, we are bouncing at the 20 EMA, break, pullback, continuation seems likely at this moment to at least retest this resistance zone. And if it breaks above that, maybe even a higher high. But I don't expect that before the news event. I think before the news event, it might be quite slow and choppy and indecisive, okay? But probably, I would suspect, during or after the event, we might get some upside. I don't know how much, either to, as I said, this target or a little bit higher. Any of these levels could be the target, and at the same time could be a bouncing spot because of the resistance. If my Elliott wave analysis here with an A, ABC and A, ABC in B, and then probably a 5-wave down for C, or a 3-wave down for C, and then a 3-wave up for D, and then a 3-wave for E, like this. Sorry, C here, D and E. Okay, so bearish bounce seems likely to me at this moment in this zone, as stated before. So on the lower time frames, yeah, I have a preference for an upside, but it is quite choppy and sideways. I think it has a little bit of more momentum. Prior to it, there's a little bit of momentum, and now we're seeing corrections take place. So I think, therefore, all in all, this triangle will probably break to the upside, and I have a preference for that at this moment because of the momentum correction. I do think that it has an edge, but I'm not sure when the break will take place. Actually, the break already took place, but I don't know if there's enough momentum to push price higher because of the news event that is looming around the corner now. Literally, I think it's 24 hours from now, right, tomorrow. So I think that will weigh into the market, and it could easily retrace back and just go sideways like this instead. So I think this breakout is a bit risky. Highly likely that it will be a false break, but all in all, I think eventually it will probably make a higher high still and test these tops. That's what I mean. Now, of course, the event itself could create a lot of volatility. It could create a down and an up and then a down and then an up. Something like that is possible too. Therefore, if there is any break, it's always good to look for flags and then continuation breakouts instead, just to avoid false breakouts, basically. Okay? That's always a good tip, I think, to avoid trading false breaks, because sometimes you get a break and then boom, up, and then you get this volatility. All right. All in all, of course, if it breaks through these long-term moving averages, then we are probably going to start the bearish swing down in that case. All right, pound USD made a consolidation pattern, one more higher high, double divergence between the tops after the higher high. And that indeed, because of the divergence pattern, even a double one, The target is the 144 we made that got hit, as you can see in a 5 or 3 wave pattern. I'm not sure here, 3 wave, but on a lower time frame it could look like a 5 wave, I think. And now it's back up, and good momentum here, followed by correction, 21 EMA acting as support, and price breaking above it at this moment. So I think that all in all, there's also a fair chance of price moving to WIS6 and the resistance zone in here and the previous tops. And I think that could happen as well here, that there's a slight bullish edge here. We have momentum followed by ABC. So it looks to me more likely the price will make that dash up. Now there's a heavy resistance zone here, don't get me wrong. So I can understand traders that are eyeing a bounce here. And I understand that. I just don't think that the bounce will have much to offer. It could go back maybe into this support zone somewhere in here, but that's not really a lot of space. I would personally not trade that. And if I look at the patterns, it looks more like potential ABCDE triangle, and then a potential bullish bounce. So to me, it looks more like one more higher high now or after a small dip. That said, of course, it might be slow as well following the euro dollar. So overall, though, in the long term, hang on. If it reaches this resistance zone, it could be a bouncing spot, of course, considering the patterns that are playing out here, and the shoulders potential, and the previous top. But that said, if it goes sideways too long, then a break is also starting to become more and more realistic as well. So at the moment, I think that a bearish bounce still has better papers because of the double top. But I mean, eventually we have to also figure that price is just not moving away from the top, and if there are no sellers, then it will probably move up. So that's something to consider. Not maybe now right away, but eventually. Depends on how price, if price gets here, how does it react there? Is there a flag and a break, right? Or is there a move up and a close in reverse and then a flag? Those are important differences that we just don't know now at this moment. But yes, I have a slight preference for upside. Blue candle, blue SWAT candle, blue SWAT diamond. Just not a lot of space until we hit target. That's the main thing at this moment, I think. Okay, that's it from my point of view. Back on Monday, hopefully with more clarity than this week. And yeah, if you like how I analyze the chart, feel free to become a SWAT member, of course, or try it out with the SWAT ebook for just €24.95. And if you like what you read there, you can upgrade and become a SWAT member. Wish you all great trading in any case, and see you soon. Cheers.